So now let me come to the second part of the debate, that is the role of police. So the incident happened around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Police did not register the FIR until 2:30 p.m., which is delay of 2.5 hours or so. Did the police take action on their own? In fact, no, because the FIR was registered because of Imran Khan. So KPK police did not, they didn't take any action on their own. It was Imran Khan who was actually pushing this whole case. He talked to the IGP and he was actually involved in the case from the very beginning. Now there are people who actually blame Imran Khan that he doesn't do anything in KPK and he's not involved, etc., which is basically totally wrong, because every good thing that happens in KPK is basically he's involved and he's pushing it. The chief minister was here, he didn't do anything. IGP didn't do anything. The local DPO didn't do anything. It was Imran Khan who was actually register the damn FIR. So about the events that actually took place, I mean, here's the Dawn article, which says police could have saved Mashal's life. And here, here's important context here. Rahman, the caretaker, said Mashal was alive when the police arrived, but they did not approach the hostel until it was too late. They could have easily saved his life, but they stood away from the mob. I heard one officer say, "It's good that they sent this non-believer to hell," he said. Mardan Police Chief Muhammad Alam Shinwari denied the allegation that officer did not do enough to save Mashal. So let me show you actually. So I think that now that the whole incident has unfolded, it has been day 5. We know that police had arrived there basically on time, and Mashal was alive at that time. There was one student, Abdul, who was being attacked, and there was some kind of misunderstanding that Mashal is actually out of campus, but he was actually in his room. He was hiding in his room. So when the mob got there, the police basically never, they never got engaged with the mob, and I think that as you read it here, because they basically was having the same opinion as the mob was, because there's a non-believer and he should be killed. And I don't blame lower police for that, but I think that in a case like this, there's more senior staff should be involved here, like a DSP and SP and even DPO himself, because you cannot expect something from a lower police who basically is not that educated, that what is going on, and there's a blame which is without proof, and you cannot just kill somebody. So the police basically stayed away, as far as I know, and they could have saved Mashal's life, but they didn't come forward. There was one officer that was seen in the video, which later was identified by IGP Mashal Khan, that he was DSP Heather, I believe his name was, and he did a good job. He did a great job by endangering his life and actually coming into the scene and trying to. By this time, Mashal Khan was already dead, by the way, but people were stomping on him and they were disrespecting his body, and he came in and he tried to stop that. So he was the only person who was doing that. But what about the rest of the police? I mean, honestly, that a DSP job is not even to just come in and do the lower police work. It was a lower police job, but in this case it was this DSP who was actually doing the job, and the lower police they were just not there. I think that police, I would say that it's definitely at fault here. Now let's see how far away the police station is from this place. So this is, let me zoom out. This is Mardan, and well, this is Mardan, and this university is kind of, this is Mardan. This university is situated kind of on the outskirts of Mardan in Sheik Maltoon. And you can see that this is the university, this is the main building, I believe. This is hostel 1, boys hostel 2. This probably is another hostel. And I don't know which hostel Mashal Khan was, but it's probably in one of these 3 hostels. This is the main building, and this is the police station. And now you can see that if you find directions, it's only 700 meter, 2 minutes drive. So when we see the first video, when people got agitated and they were chanting Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and they were coming probably in one of those roads, somebody should have already informed police, and it would have been just hardly 5 minutes for them to actually get here. But they did not show up. Why they didn't show up, and why they didn't go to actually rescue Mashal Khan. And there is now some understanding that actually police, the DSP, and some of the other staff were actually in discussion with some of the professors who were sitting in chairman office. And one of the other accused, Abdul, he was also in there, and he had said that he didn't do anything, and so the matter was really serious. And there was another 2 guys whose life was at threat, and police was just simply not very active. So so this is what has happened so far. Now let's talk about the police investigation so far. So especially let's talk about the IGP press conference, which he did yesterday on the 16th, I believe, about the progress of this whole scenario. So the IGP gave a very kind of a very high level picture of the whole incident, because I think that he didn't know all the complete detail, and understandably so, because he's an IGP, he's not an investigation officer. So the problem areas that I identify there is basically, he did not say who killed Mashal, how many bullets he received, in which area the bullets were received, and so these are really crucial information, and he did not provide any of these. And then he talks about this guy, this police official who was actually in the video, and he said that, okay, this was DSP Heather, and obviously he was doing a good job. But what about the rest of the police? I mean, I'm not expecting just one DSP without any constables, without any force, to just stop some idiots from disrespecting a body. And I think that, and I think it's important to bring out that if such a thing happens, why don't police? I mean, police, they have the law in their hands. Why don't they just take out pistol and do one fire in the air, and let's see who then comes forward and and disrespects the body. I think that it was easy. I think that it was not that difficult. These are, after all, these were not Taliban. These were, after all, students, and one aerial fire could have stopped them. And if police was active enough, they could have even saved Mashal's life as well. Because one of the teachers was actually in contact with him over the phone, and that they just for some reasons they just didn't take the action that was necessary there. So IGP press conference was lacking in my view. He did not go into detail and he was just kind of protecting. I think that he just said, police is in the right direction and they're making investigations. Now, other thing that I want to point out is that other thing that I want to point out is about the arrest in this case. So it is strange that police always, KPK police always arrest individuals who are not influential, who are easy targets. So in this case, we hear that the Maulana of this Mashal Khan's village, who actually refused to offer his prayer, KPK police arrested him, and I don't know what other things he do, but you cannot arrest somebody just because he refused to offer the prayer, because it's a religious thing. If he sees first that he's a non-believer, so I think that he has the perfect right to say no, I'm not going to offer his prayer. The sad thing about this whole episode is that none of the PTI official and any other party actually attended the funeral of Mashal Khan, which actually tells about the state of PTI, that how good their governance is. This area belongs to Speaker Asad Kaisar, and he was not there. None of the other people were there. Nobody was actually there, and I think that it was shocking because the concept that somebody has committed blasphemy was so important for some reason that they couldn't even dare to come to his funeral to offer condolences, even when people from the same village. So this was shocking, and this is really not the change that we have voted for, because he was not convicted. It was just a mob who said that he had committed blasphemy, and just because of that, nobody wants to show up at his funeral. How strange is that? So coming back to the point that Maulana Saab was arrested, which I think was wrong, because I think that in that case, why don't you arrest Asad Kaisar Saab, because he didn't show up at the funeral, so he should be arrested also, because it was his duty to be there, because he's from the same area. But you cannot arrest Asad Kaisar because he's a speaker, but you have to arrest this Maulana Saab because he's a religious guy, and he thinks that for some reason he has become infidel and refuses to offer, and now you're arresting him. So this is really the problem area that I'm identifying in KPK police. Now the second area that I want to identify is police made a lot of arrests among the students, and really these are just students, some 20, 25 years old, got engaged in this heinous crime for no reason. They don't have a motive. Really, somebody excited them, and they are after chanting Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, and they're killing somebody. And obviously, many of these, the shot was fired by somebody else, and they are disrespecting the body, and they should arrest these students definitely. But my point is that police did not make a single arrest among the university administration, especially the assistant registrar, who was actually, I think that the letter that was issued from the assistant registrar office that basically investigated Mashal Khan along with two other students for blasphemy charges, and that letter, I think, was enough that you make arrest among the administration, because obviously Mashal was raising some voices against malpractice in the university, and university was not happy with it, and later now we know that okay, university was involved, but KPK police did not arrest any single influential person, really, like among the administration, for example, assistant registrar or registrar maybe or somebody else, because they would never do that, and this is where the problem starts, because the students did not have a motive. I mean, the motive could only be from university, because once you arrest the assistant registrar and ask him questions, why did you rusticate these students, on who complained, what sort of complaint that was, did they provide any proof, on which basis you issued this letter, all those are things. So this is where the story starts, and now that it has pretty much unfolded, one of the student actually has came forward that he said that he was instructed by the university to actually blame him for blasphemy, and and then he came out and did a speech, and then got all the students agitated, and they went after Mashal Khan and eventually killed him. So I think the other point that I want to raise is one of the accused in this whole episode is one of PTI Councilor. His name is Arif. Now, Councilor is really a low-ranking, local body official. I don't think that he is any, basically he's nobody. But in KPK government and here in Pakistan, we think of him as like a VIP, like a celebrity. I mean, he's really nobody. And in this case, that councillor was not caught in the first 4 days. And now today that Imran Khan has visited Mashal Khan's father personally, it is now that he has been arrested. So, it's clear to me that they arrested the rest of the students, but police was not arresting this one person which belonged to PDI. So, what can we expect from here? I think that, the other point that I want to raise is that, and it's about democracy basically, that the concept that there is one IGP and every city has a different police, and there's 25 districts and they all report to IGP. It's this model that one IGP is going to control the whole province, and he's responsible for everything. This model actually will not work. And in US, if you look in the US, things don't work this way in the Western world. Take example of New York, for example. There's a NYPD, New York City Police Department. Take an example of Los Angeles. There's LAPD, Los Angeles Police Department. They are independent bodies, and they are only responsible for their own cities. There's no single IGP in America who is actually watching 50 states. It's not 51 states. It's not possible. So one of the things that other thing that I want to highlight is the IGP was actually holding a press conference, and I actually object to that because it's not IGP's job. I think that IGP is head of the body. I think this model it has to be changed. It cannot work. One person responsible for the entire police. But I think in this case, the press conference should have been held by Mardan Police, and it's not really a separate department. I'm going to call it Mardan Police Department, which is basically DPO Dr. Mia Saeed. He's the DPO there, and so it was really they were investigating things, and if there are reporters, they can ask them questions about the investigation, and they can answer it properly, because IGP he did not have enough knowledge about the case in the first place to answer all the little details. So I think that I request to Imran Khan that he should move things in that direction, because the IGP model is not going to work. One bad IGP can actually corrupt the entire police. And I think that one of the promises that you made in the beginning of your campaign of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is that you wanted to give power to the lower to lower levels, and in this case, like, and I know there are the lower staff, they have full powers, but they are not autonomous. And I think that right now we have to focus on making them autonomous. So, for example, this is a case of Mardan Police Department. So they have to hold the press conference. They have to actually, and even the investigation officer has to be there, and people can ask them, questions, who was arrested, who was not arrested, and things like that. So I think that we should make this as an example to actually reform our police as well, and to move things in the right direction. And this was a heinous crime, a terrible crime that happened in a university, and I think that we all should actually, because of the death of Mashal, we should learn something from it, and basically do something that such an incident never happens again. As Mashal father himself, I mean, he was very sober in all this episode, and I think that he himself says that we should learn something from it, and that such type of incident should never happen again. But I think that police should be made more professional, and so that's what I want to say about Mashal. And I think that police probably could have done a better job, but they did not. And everything is being moved by Imran Khan himself, which again is not really the change, because the police should be actually doing everything by itself. Here you can see on the map, this is police station, this is where the incidents happened. It's 2 minutes drive, and this poor man has been killed, where there's a lot of communication between him and other people at this time. Nobody from the administration, and I'm talking about senior staff like the registrar, assistant registrar, have been arrested. And this is where the problem is, that they will never get arrested. Police never acts against influentials in KPK. It's my own experience. And basically, if Imran does not move in this case also, you have to take notice that Chief Justice also took notice in this case. So police is actually basically is being mobilized by Imran Khan and Chief Justice, and now we're saying, tabdili has come. No, this is not really tabdili. It is better than Punjab police. I would say their KPK police is better than Punjab police, but they are not the change that Imran Khan has promised us. So I hope that we can improve our police, and such an incident will never happen again. And in this case, police should make arrest right at the spot. I mean, they shouldn't be waiting for a VIP to come in and, okay, register an FIR and now make arrest. No, they should actually be taking a step right at that point, because when a cognizable offense happens, they make arrest right at that point. They don't wait that, okay, everything will be fine, we'll look at it later. So again, I want to thank you, Imran Khan, and now this is a test of the government as well, which I think that the KPK government, by the way, it almost failed. It's just Imran Khan that has not failed. So let's see what's going to happen, but Imran Khan should know that his government is not doing the job that we expect from them. So okay, thank you very much.